Hello everyone, and welcome to a game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Regulator 1, and he is in the mighty Yamato. 10 Japanese battleship is on the map trap in a 3-point domination game. Well, it's obviously tier 10, there's 2 destroyers per team, and there is quite a bit of radar around, so that will make it a little bit harder for the friendly destroyers. But we've already spotted the Moskva and the Seattle going towards A, which means the Yugumo will have some problems here. Now, the team pretty much ignored B. Some people proposed AB, some people proposed AC, and the destroyer that spawned in the center decided to go for A, because he lacked some support in the middle. So far, I guess so good. We have 2 friendly raiders here at the A cap. And we have a massive force here in the north, considering that we can't see much enemies there. All radar is spotted. This means the friendly gearing is pretty brave there, searching for the Yugumo. But keep in mind, the friendlies aren't really in the best position to help this gearing, so that gearing might just be overcommitting a little bit there. I can understand that he wants to fight the Yugumo, but he probably should take this a little bit slower. Also, the Missouri, considering a Missouri has radar, should probably be pretty aggressive here because there is just so many friendlies and so few enemies, so if that Missouri goes in with this support, they should take the C-cap in no time. Now meanwhile, let's look at our position here. Now, the Yamato has stopped here because he can cover like this area here in the north, and he's probably hoping of getting some nice shots here at some broadside ships, and that might work out. Now we have a Kurfürst, amazing brawler, charging in. And the other Kurfürst is a little bit too much in love with the zone wall. I mean, this guy is showing broadside here and stuck to the zone wall. He should turn his ship more towards the enemy. And that Kurfürst should be a little bit less aggressive. I mean, he is a great brawler, but you know, it's not like the enemy team has so few ships around here. And the friendlies aren't in the best position to back up this charge right now. So that Kurfürst is probably just going down. And there are some torpedoes going for the Kurfürst as well. Now meanwhile, the friendly gearing is still contesting this cap. There still isn't that much support moving in. Like those battleships should try to get towards the front line there. And that Missouri should definitely try to get his radar going. Now Regulator here is moving forward. I mean, I guess he could have been a bit more aggressive here early on, but I'm not sure if there was a need to. Also, personally, I would not turn away here. I'd just go nose in. Like, this turn is pretty risky. He's currently broadside on to Montana and the Kurfürst, and if this salvo had been a little bit better, then he would be in a lot of trouble. Now, I can understand that he doesn't want to get into the secondary range of a Kurfürst, but honestly, I would just have stayed nose in here. Would have only allowed him to use the front guns though, but I think it would have been a safer choice. Now, the other Kurfürst we have around here. So, the other Kurfürst we have around here is still fine, showing broadside towards the enemy, and it looks like the destroyer tried to lay a smoke screen. Smoke screens don't really work for battleships. I mean, the best you can hope for is to drop into concealment between your shots. Like when you shoot, you'll be detected for like 20 seconds. And if you have like 25 seconds reload, that gives you a 5-second window where you would be in stealth thanks to the smoke screen. But that's oftentimes not worth. Often it's just not. So that Kurfürst is gone. That leaves us with a Montana and a Moskva here. Now, if that Kurfürst would stop showing broadside, he'd probably be in an okay shape. But I guess he just doesn't want to. Now, meanwhile, the north, the gearing was too aggressive, and he got taken out. Now, the enemy destroyer got taken out too. But it's like the friendly team is still in a way too passive position. They need those battleships a little bit more in the front, and they would have needed the Missouri to just go in with radar a lot earlier. Like, the Missouri was the only radar up there, and there weren't that many ships stopping them. And I feel like especially the radar would have just probably saved the gearing and would have allowed them to take the sea cap without issue. But it is what it is. I mean, ship-wise it's not looking so horrible, but cap-wise it's pretty disastrous. But you know, at the A cap it's looking up. I think the friendlies should be able to take this. The problem is still that there is a Moskva, and that Moskva can just radar the Yugomo. And that's why the Yugomo hasn't been able to do much in terms of capping. Now there is also that Kronstadt here at B, so it's not like the Yugomo could have just diverted over there. Now friendly Sao is going for B there. That might work out. Now the C cap still has some scary battleships around, so without the friendly battleships pushing into C, they can't do anything. But if B is only a Kronstadt, the Sao has a decent chance. Now, Regulaton here is slowing down because of that Kronstadt. I assume he is communicating with his division mate and he wants to help out. But the way the Kronstadt is sailing, he will be in cover of this island, so Regulaton is going forward again and engaging that Iowa instead. Now the Iowa is nice enough to turn right here and is probably going to show some broadside. Now let's see what these shells can do, and there's a citadel. Unfortunately the friendly Kurfürst is going down. I mean, in the end he didn't show broadside anymore, but I feel like if that Kurfürst had just angled a little bit better early on, it probably would have been far better off. Yeah, this Iowa is taking a beating here. Once again, that Yugomo is obsessed with smoking battleships. Like, what's this smoke supposed to do? I mean, the Yamato could drop into concealment for a few seconds between his shots, but those few seconds will probably not do an awful lot. Now the Moskva is peeking around here and he is switching to the Moskva. It's a broadside Moskva and the Moskva is the main threat towards the destroyer. So he takes the opportunity. Unfortunately the Moskva gets away. Now the Iowa is charging in here. And now they've even lost vision because he is inside a smoke screen. Now I assume at this point the Iowa wants to go for a ram. And he is going for the bow here. Some okay damage. But unfortunately that Iowa is on 800 hit points. Now, probably won't reload in time to shoot that Iowa. The back turret isn't turning. Well, the back turret isn't turned the right way. So Iowa got taken care of. Now thanks to the Yugomo. Yugomo here helped out. And that enemy got taken care of. And yeah, he should have, I think, given more. I'm assuming he was going for the Aoi or something. Now they did buff like, I think they buffed the Moskva's belt. Or did I just buff like the lower part of the nose? But the Moskva's armor was buffed somewhat recently. I guess it's been a while right now. You can also see the slow turret traverse of the Yamato, which is a big downside when you are rolling. But you know, there was still a rear turret available. Okay, so next up we have Kronstadt, and overall that battle is still looking rather horrible. But you know, broadside Kronstadt, and well, I mean, Kronstadt's still floating. Now, in the north, the battleships are finally pushing in, but you know, that's way too late. So those two battleships, they waited the entire time until everyone they had supporting them either left or was sunk. And now they are moving in. That's exactly not what you wanna do. Especially like with the Missouri's raider as mentioned earlier. If that Missouri early on would have sailed in there, they would have probably chased the Yugomo away, taken the Sea Cup without issue, and maybe even beaten the enemy force up there, but you know. Now, meanwhile, Regulatorn here is just waiting for that Kronstadt to emerge. Guns are pre-aimed. Currently, they can't shoot each other. Now, he's also fully broadside, so he might get a little bit of a spanking. But he should spank the Kronstadt way harder in return. And, well, I guess Kronstadt didn't do so well with his shells, so bit of luck here on his side. And that's one less Kronstadt. Now, unfortunately, the battleships in the north seem to be going down, and the friendly team still only has one cap. Now, Yugomo has launched some torps this way, and he's warning the Yamato that he should get out of the way, and that shouldn't be an issue. Now, the friendly team has 3 ships left against 5. Now, that in itself isn't that horrible, I suppose. It's not good, but it could be overcome. The fact that the enemy team has like 800 points seems a lot more devastating. Because the friendly team needs to like cap everything, sink everything, and do it pretty fast. Or something like that. Now let's see. How does the Hindenburg fare? Hindenburg, oh, just took quite a bit of a hit. Okay, so that Hindenburg is probably done for. The destroyer is once again obsessed with smoking a Yamato, and it still doesn't really do anything. Now, of course, the Yugomo, if he can spot the gearing, that would be very helpful, and generally the spotting will be rather crucial, but it's not like the friendlies have time. Like, it's not like the Yamato can just slow down and say, yeah, okay, I'll wait, I'll let you get in front of me. Enemy team is 923 points. If they don't sink anything soon, it's all over anyway. So he has to go in and hope for some juicy broadsides or low health ships, like the enemy has to screw this up. That's the only hope. No, he can't slow down. He really can't slow down here. The enemy has 941 points by now. It's like, not rocket science. He has to bet everything on a YOLO rush here. Now, Yamato isn't the best ship when it comes to YOLO rushing because of that slow turret traverse and the weakness in the front. Now, it also looks like there is a lot of fire coming from this flank, so he has to run back here and start angling. There is definitely a Minotaur sitting there. And while a Minotaur doesn't produce big numbers per hit, like this constant rain will really wear him down quickly. And once again, there isn't really anything he can do about it. Now what he has to do is hope that, well, I mean, in 30 seconds he can heal, so he has to survive that long. He is angling against that Minotaur, and he has to hope that his salvo here will devastate something or so. There is also torpedoes incoming, but they miss, and, well, he goes down. What will his salvo do? Unfortunately, nothing. And this is a defeat. Here we are with the results. Regulatorn 1 earned himself 2,229 base experience, and, well, that's a very impressive result for a defeat. Like, only one enemy in the winning team got more experience than he did. And, you know, I think he could have played a little bit more aggressive, but I can understand his reasoning, and the Yamato isn't the best ship to charge in. There were the Kurfürsts early on in the front lines anyway, and he just wanted to get better firing angles and maybe cover the center a little bit. The friendly team went down a little bit faster than one would have expected, I suppose. So, Regulatorn 1 earned himself the Confederate at a high caliber, scoring 348,000 points of damage. That's a very impressive result, and it was still not enough to just win the battle. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I'll see you guys next time.